I don't think too many people know this, that the original intent is the water supply, and you can't do anything recreation-wise to endanger that supply. We can adjust to overuse, and we are generally geared to that. But continued misuse of an area by, I want to say, visitors going for areas that are not developed and not designated, that's our concern. This is a reason for the study.
State park officials are already taking steps to alleviate some of the overcrowding at Little River. Within the next 2 weeks, they'll begin painting parking spaces so people won't be tempted to park where they're not supposed to. And park officials are also considering opening another recreation area to alleviate some of the congestion. But there is one final solution in case these things don't work. After enough people have come into the park, state officials may have to simply close the gates. Sue Lauer, Action 4.
So bad with her that she said that she locked herself in a hotel room one weekend and tried to...
I've tried it all. I guess the only gambling that I'm not interested in is horse races. But all the types of casino gambling, cards, sports, football, basketball, baseball.
Did you do a lot of sports gambling here?
Yes, very much every day.
Could you recall what your worst experience, the bottom of the barrel was as far as gambling?
I believe one time in Vegas I dropped like 18,000 just overnight. That's probably the largest amount at one time. But many times on football and basketball I've had large losses.
What made you finally decide to seek some treatment?
Well, I felt like I was reaching my bottom. Everybody's bottom's different, I suppose, but I felt like I was losing my family, my friends, possibly even my business. You tend to become a loner. You study the football points or anything else 7, 8, 10 hours a day. Takes up all your time.
with establishing
No, we just do all commercial buildings, just masonry work.
on the exterior?
When you realize something had happened.
We just saw a bunch of lights flashing, and then the wind started blowing glass and everything, and that's when we all ran to the back of the store. And that's about it. It was over real quick.
Most definitely. When I looked out my door, I seen debris going around in circles. All the tin that come off of this roof over here, they were just going around and around in circles, just like a tornado. And it lifted up my car, so it had to be a tornado.
Lower crude oil prices should mean lower prices here at the pump. Will that actually happen, though?
I really doubt it. I'd sure like to see it, but I doubt it very seriously.
Well, I think they've got it where they want it now.
I don't figure the gas is going to go down at all.
I think the oil companies are extremely pleased with the profit they've been making over the few years, and I just can't see them lowering the prices for us, because I think they're enjoying it right now. And so as long as they're happy, they're going to maintain their happiness.
Membership card? Membership card.
That's it.
Membership card?
For our table?
Membership card. You ain't done your membership card? Membership card.
That's it.
There was enough word out on the floor that the members are satisfied. The members in here were satisfied today. And the committee, of course, is satisfied. We had some long sessions in the plant, and we're satisfied with the agreement. The executive board approved of it, I believe, Thursday. So We're happy with the agreement. They needed health and safety conditions improved in the plant, and they needed production standards corrected. And those were the issues that were addressed during the strike, and those issues were corrected.
Mike Kubitschek is the director of the Oklahoma Wheat Commission.
Well, the USDA is forecast probably the second largest crop we've had in Oklahoma, but wheat farmers in Oklahoma would like to wait until it's in the bin and then take account and see where we're at. But by July the 10th, we probably have a real good idea of what kind of crop we really had.
Those of us who are on GCCA feel like we represent you, Mr. Hill. Chairman, members of the House, there's one other.
We've got 8 legislative days remaining in the 90 that is allowed us. And I don't intend to just sit idly around over here while we fritter away the time remaining. We can have a recess and give the House the time that they need to have, more time if they need to have it, to resolve their differences, and hopefully they will be able to do that.
So we feel that this celebration of the Diamond Jubilee, 75 years of statehood, one of the youngest states in the Union, is a marvelous opportunity to emphasize all the great things that there are about the state, and at the same time to really begin to value and save our history, which is so unique, although it's very young. By the governor last fall in October, and it's made up of 53.
scabies. That's a dreaded disease, I guess, among sheep breeders.
Yes, sir, it certainly is. Because the main reason dread, because we don't know what it is. We know it affects the central nervous system of the sheep, but we don't know how, why, or what the cure is. And so the USDA, the only thing they've come up with is just a slaughter, not only the affected individuals, but all of them that's been around it. And this seemed like a wanton waste of good sheep, and especially, well, you take like, for instance, I've been in the business now 40 years this year, and my breeding program on my South Downs is 40 years old, good or bad. And what if they came in here and said, well, because I sold that man South Downs, and they've slaughtered them, and what if they come in here and want to slaughter my sheep?
But it's brought us a long down off a real hard job like we've just gone through. Index, the blue name tags that we have at this time present, horse registration over your country. Why even bother? We're so much bigger than you. You don't even stand a chance. It's just because we're addicted. For the first time, we begin to see what
Colorado Party, which meant that I was the person who was in charge of hand-holding and advice and producing literature and so forth for all of our candidates, and consequently the ballot law requirements and the ways in which they're enforced are more restrictive in Oklahoma than in most states. You've probably got one of the 8 or 10 most difficult situations in the country. But we are challenging these. First, we're able to meet them. As we were in 1980, we did get Clark on the ballot in all 50 states. And we are increasingly challenging these through the courts and through having reform measures presented to legislatures. And
most of the changes we propose are like state executive. And then the last
exact times on those, we'll check and get back to what
last measure that we passed in our rules committee, that was section 711.
And it is a miracle that we are all alive and that these people who were in this motel last night are alive, because we were all sound asleep and no one was aware of this situation.
It scared the heck out of me, but we got out of here safe, and I'm just lucky because my little girl's bed, it's down on the floor, and if there would have been any water in the trailer house, she wouldn't have made it.
Sir, how bad was the flooding at this mobile home park?
Well, we had about 4 feet of water back in here from the creek down there, and it got into a lot of the trailer houses on this south end. The cars all on this end have had water clear up to the windows practically and up over the dash. It looks like it's done a lot more damage than we thought at first.
According to the Agriculture Department, there is more than 400 million pounds of butter in storage. If there is such a surplus, many consumers are curious. Why does butter cost about $2 a pound?
The price of that butter is set by the retailers, those people that sell the butter. Now, we go in and look at the whole structure of the dairy program. We look at this 400 million pounds that's on storage. The stuff is at the point that it's going to turn rancid, it's going to spoil, and there are certain statutes and laws that don't permit that butter to be put back onto the domestic market.
I just pick it up. It's gone. We don't just ring the grocery.
Even though this is all staged, natural disasters can happen in Oklahoma. Everyone knows Oklahoma is known for tornadoes. That's why the Civil Defense Department and the Sheriff Department says mock drills like this are necessary. So in case something like this does happen, they'll be ready. Ed Stewart, Action 4 at Midwest City Hospital.
This pile of Xerox paper is proof how well lawmakers are getting along. In fact, they're getting along so well, they're passing the bills almost as quickly as they can get their hands on them. Well, consequently, this is creating a real backlog for the Xerox room.
This may just look like some more undeveloped property at the corner of Northwest 10th and Villa, but actually, this is a breeding ground for millions of mosquitoes. This area used to be covered with water. It's drained now, but there's enough water left inside those tires for millions of baby mosquitoes to breed.
As far as protecting themselves from this kind of situation?
Well, first of all, everybody in their own backyard has old containers, bird baths, rain barrels, and tires that will have water standing in them after the rains we've had. And rainwater makes an excellent hatchery for them. So it'd be a good help if all the neighbors would help themselves and remove any containers that are not necessary.
Well, they're in there all right, and they've got little diamond points for stingers. Smith says he'd like to see everybody take the precautions he described, but he says what we really need is some hot, dry winds to dry up some of this standing water. Ted Brown, Action 4 from Mosquito Heaven.